Hey guys, welcome back. It's Luke. Today I'm going to be answering a question here in sunny Puerto Rico, a question from Yang Yi. Before we get to that, let me just say one thing. Make sure you guys, if you like the video, give it a like. And also, I would appreciate, if you have any questions, if you could ask them in the comments. Grammar questions, we've got some good ones for this week. Pronunciation questions, okay, that's fine. Culture questions, fine. Whatever, questions that you have, especially about English language learning, and I will do my best to answer them the next week if they're good questions. If they're not interesting questions or they're not written as questions, I probably won't answer them. Okay, so let's get started. Today's question from Yang Yi is, what's the difference between will and would? Okay. When we want to talk about the future, we use will. For example, next week I will be visiting my grandmother. Now that's the simple way that that's used. Okay. Now we could add then an if before it. If I move to Canada next year, I will probably have to change careers. That means I won't stay in my same career. I will go to a different career. I'll have another career. Okay? If. But I have an if first, so it's sort of like, if I don't, I'll stay in this career. If I do move to Canada, I will change careers. So it is the future, but only a future if it goes this way, right? But it could be real. Now, would is used to talk about things that are often not real. Sometimes we use it to talk about things that could happen or may happen in the future, but often when we use would, we're talking about things that can't be true. So we often use this for asking and giving advice. What would you do if you were me? I'm thinking about moving to Canada because, you know, I've always wanted to move there. I don't know. What would you do if you were me? Now, can you be me? No, you can't be me. It's not possible. I'm me and you're you, right? Yes. But if, imagine, use your imagination, you were in my position, my situation, thinking about moving to Canada, what would you do? So we often have a connection between were and would. If she were living in Beijing, she would live with her parents. Maybe she's from Beijing, right? But she's not living in Beijing, so she can't, right? So that's not true. Now, it could be true if she decided to move back to Beijing. Yes, that could be true then. But we're not talking about the future. We're just imagining if there were a different present, right? If it were true that she were living in Beijing, what would things be like? Well, she would be living with her parents. She would be living with her parents. So you can see that's different than will. If we use will, then maybe she's going to in 6 months. If I move back to Beijing, I will live with my parents. If, okay, so that's again this branch thing, okay? We use would in this way to often imagine things. It's a great way to imagine hypothetical things. And again, it often goes with were. Now, what about this one? We would probably buy a car if we had enough money. We would probably buy a car if we had enough money. And we will buy a car if we have enough money. We will buy a car if we have some dogs barking. Hold on. What's up with these dogs? Angry dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4 dogs. Interesting. What was I saying? Yes, okay, so what's the difference between we would buy a car if we had enough money and we will buy a car if we have enough money? Okay, these two are very, very similar, but the focus is a bit different. If we say we would buy a car if we had enough money, it's kind of like saying, I don't know. I don't know how to make more money. It's almost like throwing your hands up and saying, well, you don't know the way that the money will come, and maybe it never will, right? And so the focus is on being kind of helpless. And you're just imagining a better alternative universe where you have enough money to buy a car, right? Were and would. Now, if we say, I will buy a car if I have enough money, or even I will buy a car when I have enough money, it's definitely more proactive, and it feels more like there's a path forward. Whereas the first one, would, is more like, oh, I don't know. This one, I will buy a car if I have enough money, means that's the thing that will happen next once I get enough money. And it feels like I'm going to make money first. That's the feeling. The focus is on doing something to get the money to buy the car. Now, even more positive is I will buy a car when I get enough money. So that means it's certain. It's only a matter of time. And that's a common expression. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. It's going to happen. It's a certainty in my mind. I'm on the way, right? I'm getting the money. I'm going forward. I'm moving forward. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. So if we say I will buy a car when I get enough money, that's telling you what my action is going to be right after I have the correct amount of money. So similar meaning for all three of these, but the focus is different. And that's the general way that we use will and would. In fact, there are other ways to use will and would too, but I think that's the main point of the question. If you have any more questions about will and would, let me know in the comments, or if you have questions about anything else. And if you like the video, give it a like. If you really like these videos, these daily English videos, or any of my other videos, make sure you subscribe. That would be great. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.